All right, hello, Econ101. So today we're going to be talking about sunk cost fallacy and how it affects decision making and how it should affect your decision making. So a sunk cost is a cost that's already been paid or agreed to, and it cannot be reversed. It's already been done. So an example would be if you're opening up a restaurant, your rent would be a sunk cost. You've already signed your lease, you agreed to it. It's a sunk cost. It's already going to happen. So pretty much all fixed costs are going to be sunk costs. So how does sunk cost affect your decisions? So in the long run, sunk costs will tie up like loose ends, right? So your lease will end, everything will come to a stop, and you can decide whether or not to renew it. So that in the long run, you can take all of your total costs into account. But when we're looking at our short term, so in the short run, you kind of feel obligated to continue with pursuit that may not be beneficial. It might be, but it may not be beneficial just because these sunk costs make you feel guilty quitting. So an example from Bob's Burgers, if you could not tell what that is, it's they're short on rent for the month, you know, the usual, and it starts storming outside. There's a hurricane coming, and Bob decides to stay open, right? Instead of shutting down for like the day or just a few days to let the storm settle, he decides to stay open just so he can kind of make rent and stay on top of that. So it wouldn't hurt him too bad if he had decided to shut down because sunk cost, he's already decided he's going to pay for this either way. As long as you're keeping up with your variable costs, that's all that matters. So how should sunk costs affect your decisions? All right. Yeah, they shouldn't. They in the short run, whether you um, as long as you meet your variable costs, you can keep your doors open. You don't have to shut down. Even though the sunk costs or fixed costs, they feel like a burden to you. In the long run, it's a bit different. You have to take into account all of your total costs, so both your fixed costs and your variable costs. And so when you want to decide whether or not to exit the market, that's up to you and your fun little burger business here. But thank you so much.